Welcome, everybody, to the Empowered Hello, a masterclass taught by me, Dr. Flo, and also Tara Paolo's studio. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Dr. Flo. I always say that I tell you what I know, not what I heard. You're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. I'm an online coach and mentor. I encourage, equip, and empower bold dreamers to follow their bliss by living the lives that they want to live on this planet. Before we go, I'm going to allow this young lady to introduce herself to all of you today before we move forward. The lovely Tara Paolo.
Who you calling young? I feel honored. Let's see. I'm pulling this up, y'all. Y'all see all the background that's not going into full screen. Do you see how this sometimes happens, y'all? There we go. I think we can all see it. Hello. This masterclass is called Empowered Hello, so I feel like I should say, hey, hi, hello. Hello. I'm Tara Paolo. I am your resident Black, biracial, multi-passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about, and there's a fly in here. Poppy Wada would freak out. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same, and that's going to drive me nuts. So if y'all see me just get up and run away, it's because I'm chasing a fly. And I'm excited to talk about this. This is a nice, follow-up / add-on to the Nail Your Intro. So I'll probably post them, together-ish is what I'll do in the end. But yeah, I decided. I have agreements, and then I'm going to let Dr. Flo go into the other stuff. Y'all that have been here for a couple of weeks know that I don't know. I'm really obsessed with these agreements. So here are our agreements for tonight. And if you do not agree, you may not proceed. You may not proceed. You must turn off the masterclass now. So a hello is a doorway, not a script. Shouldn't feel necessarily robotic. It's a doorway. It's an opening to something exciting. A hello is a doorway, not a script. And play is practice. Play is practice. We get to play around. Dr. Flo talks about that a bit on stage. Not necessarily that we want to be unsafe on stage, but that we want to feel pretty free in our emotional selves to exude, right? So if you can't make those agreements, like I said, bye. Yeah. All right. That's my part, I think.
Perfect. And this session is not about bye. It's actually about hello.
Hello.
And what it means to stand empowered in your hello. This session is also about helping you introduce yourself in a way that leaves people intrigued, connected, and inspired to know more. And as we always talk about within our network and our coaching and our workshops, people need to like you, know you, and trust you in order to lean into the work that you're doing. And so we're going to take that a step further today by putting you in a place where people can leave you intrigued, connected, and also inspired to know more. You'll walk away, if you listen to this later, with an empowered written hello that you can use this week. And this isn't just a theory tonight's class. It's also a practice session. So I'm going to yield back to Tara per my notes for a grounding activity that includes taking deep breaths. She is one of the breathing gurus on campus. And so I'll let her ground us, and then I'll pick up in the next part of our presentation.
Wouldn't that be such a fun, I feel like that would be such a fun professorship to have, the breath professor, just get to sit and breathe. Anyway, my reel today for Freedom Friday was all about the breath. It was a couple of breath exercises. So let's just do a square breath. Square breaths are easy. That's the fly, y'all. I touched it, but I didn't kill it. Didn't get it. So for me, we got to take some breaths. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to do square breaths. So we'll do 4 beats in, 4 beats of pause, 4 beats out, 4 beats of pause, 4 beats in, 4 beats of pause, 4 beats out, 4 beats of pause, blow out the rest of your air. And you're just noticing where that air goes in your body. And then we have a little bit of a body scan to talk about here. So I'll snap. Hopefully y'all can hear that. And here we go. Breathing in. Pause. Is your tummy filling up? Out. Pause. Breathe in. Pause. Is it somewhere else? How does it feel inside of you? Out. Pause. How does your body feel now? Blow your rest of your air out if you have any and return to normal breathing. I'm going to read this body scan as you guys are coming back to your centers. Notice how your body feels when you think about introducing yourself. How does your body feel? Is it nervous? Is it excited? Is it neutral? Does it not care? How does your body feel now that we're adding that? We're breathing in, we're breathing low. What do you feel? I quite frankly, and this is why I think my intro needs to change a little bit, I feel bored when I think about introducing myself currently. So neutral and bored. And that's whatever you feel is where your starting point is. What about you, Dr. Flo? How do you feel about introducing yourself in this moment? Or how does your body feel?
I don't think about these things. I'm constantly introducing my energy to people. I'm what they call black boy joy. So people are always kind of staring at me in the grocery store or in a restaurant. I get a lot of like, do I know you from somewhere? Because I also give people familiar energy. So I've learned to just be neutral about most experiences, but especially the idea of introducing myself. Mostly because I'm well acquainted with who I am. And more, as the years have progressed, I have fallen deeper in love with myself. You know? And so loving yourself makes it easy for you to introduce yourself to people because you're not fixing your shirt or fixing your beard or fixing your attitude. You're just showing up as you are, and you recognize that as enough. So that's my starting point today and every day. A neutral reintroduction of myself to myself, and then that lays the groundwork for me to introduce myself to people. In the past, I would have said excited, except for the fact that there are people who are not excited to meet me as much as I am to meet them. Before we stepped into the space, Tara told me that someone who was really positive in how they felt about me and the community has abruptly left the community. So I'm no longer trying to become overly excited about how people are going to receive me. I'll just be me and let them figure out the rest. When I was 6 years old, I loved book festivals. And I'm from a capital city, Richmond, Virginia. And I would go to the Scholastic book festivals and all of the book festivals that I could manage to go to in town. And I asked a woman named Stephanie at one of the book festivals if I could be the kid host with her for Rocket Radio on public radio, which was a show that introduced literacy to young people. And because of my enthusiastic energy and my hi to her in introducing myself as an energetic child, she said yes. And I believe that energy transfers from one person to another. And people can tell pretty much a lot about the relationship that you're going to have with them from what we would call in music that first downbeat. Was there any time in your life, Tara, where an empowered hello opened a door for you to a new friendship or a new environment or a new experience?
The whole time you were sharing, and also just like thinking about this masterclass, I've been thinking about how we use different versions of hello at the beginning of emails. And like, I don't know, there's probably people out there like me that in college, like you used to like fret, like, should you say hello, Dr. So and so, hi, friend, hi, like you like, hey, and like how casual or how professional, quote unquote professional, whatever that means, the emails were. But that's all energy, right? That's all an energy exchange, like Dr. Flo was just talking about. For me, I have really had to come into, I love my hello now. I love my hey, hi, hello. Like it covers all of them. It's like, I'm actually really casual first, but I'm also going to say hi, hello. I'm going to repeat myself. We learn best through repetition, as we learned from Mr. Purdy. So I might as well say hello 3 times. And it makes me feel bubbly. So that, I mean, it's not really a story, but it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel bubbly. It makes me feel excited to talk to people, instead of just a hey, how you doing, or a hello, and this being a really formal email. Yeah, so that's the I think there's a lot of energy behind that even initial hello. Like we're going to branch into the bigger picture of an introduction, like what comes after the actual hello. Right? But also we have to say hello, and this is, we've talked about it in terms of clubhouse rooms and like TikTok spaces and live spaces, right? Even people come into Instagram lives and they don't say anything. They don't say hello. They don't say hi. They don't say, hey, how you doing? And that's an energy, right? And it could suck your energy if you let it, because they're not saying hello. And that's a hard thing to deal with, sometimes, because you can make it out to be a negative thing when in reality they might just have accidentally clicked on your live and then scrolled right away because they didn't actually want to talk to you that day, right? But all of it is energy, the way in which we greet each other. Bonjour, de rien. That's thank you. That's not hello. I don't, whatever.
That
It's okay.
reminds me of how we got here to teach in this masterclass tonight, because everything that you want in this life, and every dream that I've had come true, and every dream that's going to come true for me in my life and in your life, starts with an empowered hello. Every date that you're going to go on, every person you're going to marry, every contract you're going to close, all of the good stuff comes from an empowered hello. And people who do not know how to offer up an empowered hello, and people who do not know the energetic alchemy of how to say hello and introduce themselves, suffer in life.
Yeah.
I moved out of New York City a few years back, but I'm still tied into industry and the people there. And there's a saying in New York City: closed mouths do not get fed.
Sure don't.
Closed mouths do not get fed. Mouths with clothes in them also don't get fed, but closed mouths do not get fed. And so there are people running in and out of TikTok rooms, as happened just now, who cannot find a hello. And they're going to struggle having their needs met in life, and also getting the kinds of success that they admire and perhaps want for themselves. And that's a very interesting way to play it, but that's your life, folks, not mine. I was asking for the things I needed when I was 6, and I'm sure that, God willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be asking for these things when I'm 60. Okay, so if you're listening back to this later, and I trust that you might, here's some journal prompts to help you lift your empowered hello out the gate. Write down one word to describe how you currently feel about introducing yourself to people. What's one word that comes to mind that describes to you how you currently feel about introducing yourself? And then write down one word for how you want to feel. How do you currently feel about introducing yourself? And then write down one word about how you want to feel. Because the magic of this seminar and masterclass is going to come from being able to bridge where you are to where you want to go. And we're going to talk about that for the next hour or so.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, there it goes. We have 4 pillars of this empowered hello. We obviously talked about, I think, the overarching thing, which is the energy behind your hello, the energy behind your introduction. I'm going to take the first 2 pillars. Dr. Flo is going to take the second 2. So the first pillar here is presence or intention. I thought that said intonation for a second, and I was like, wait, what? I mean, but it is also intonation, right? But like the that really like threw me for a loop. I was like, what in the world? So your tone, your body language, your eye contact, your breathing, your energy before your words. So we've already talked about the energy, right? So I'm going to go into like the body language thing, which some of y'all, I feel like, okay, I was watching, this is anecdotal. I was watching the US Open last night, and I was watching Coco Gauff play, and she was like, she was having a bad night, y'all. And she was like crying every left and right. And the announcers were like, they kept being like, she looks, what did they keep saying? Like her body language looks da da da. And I was like, no, homie, she looks really tired and really scared. Like that's what Coco Gauff looks like in her face. And so I feel like body language is not a specific science, but there is a point to body language of like, are you open to that hello that you're giving? And are you open to receiving a hello back? Or are you slightly turning away, or are you already turning away from the opportunity? Are you this way when you're in a room of people? Are your arms crossed, right? Are you hand on your hip, cocking it? Like what is that attitude that you're doing with your body? Because that's going to lead first, honestly. And we'll talk about it a little bit later too. But the way that you breathe in before you say hello. Oh, it's right there. It says breathing. The way that you breathe in, right? So if you take a hi, right? If you take a high breath, that's going to emanate fear, right? It's going to show how scared you are of introducing yourself, or how nervous you are. And then, of course, there's eye contact. And then the way that you say the tone, right? We all know what your sounds like. You could have a sad hello, hello, Pooh. I'm having a horrible day. Right? Or you could have the bubbly that we've already talked about. You could have somewhere in between. But there are definitely different tones to the way that you're wanting to introduce yourself or say hello. Also, your identity, right? I already talked about it, how I say all 3, right? I say, hey, hi, hello. Hey, hi, hello. I'm Tara Priolo. I'm your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician, right? That's what I say. And that has to do with who I am inside. I'm not fully casual. I'm not fully professional. I'm not totally chill with everybody, but I also want to make everybody feel included. Thus, I say, hey, hi, hello. It's very natural to me. And I've talked about this in a lot of places, so I can't identify where I talked about it. But your identity has to be beyond your roles or your job titles. So a lot of people like introduce themselves or are like, I'm a musician. It's like, okay, but who are you? We talked about this a little bit last week. Like, who are you at your root? If you are an executive assistant, okay, that tells me what you do. It doesn't tell me who you are. So I would encourage you to see a little deeper into yourself about who you are.
Another pillar of an empowered hello is your value, or the value that you bring into the conversation. What transformation, what benefit, what joy do you bring? If you're wondering why people aren't returning to the scene of the crime of conversation with you, it may be because they don't see the benefit of talking to you. Or, like Tara pointed to about the Eeyore voice earlier, you could be a buzzkill. You could be taking the energy downward, and no one wants to be around a party pooper. So be sure in your empowered hello that you're also knowing your worth and knowing the value that you bring to the discussion. You also want to leave people with an invitation. What's the next step that you're offering and being connected with that person? Is it the connection itself? Is it that you want them to follow you, hire you, or collaborate with you? Make that clear as you introduce yourself. It will really make a lasting impression.
Yeah. And you'll hear Dr. Flo, if you ever catch him on live, or if you happen to be on a call with him while he's in the grocery store, he often talks to people, and he does use an empowered hello. He introduces himself, and at the end of the conversation, he usually says, "I'm at Andre in the Flow on TikTok or on Instagram," or wherever these people happen to be looking for him, or whatever platform they're occupying. So a way to follow up with you, a way to find you in this vast world of 9 billion people and 5.65 billion people on the internet, right? Okay. We have some examples of disempowered hellos. And by examples, I mean, I have one example, and then I have an example of an empowered hello. So I'm going to try to be this person right now. Hi, I'm Jules. Well, let's see. I was born in Florida, and then I moved and I went to college, and now I'm a creative. But I've really been creating since I was 5. Okay, if we go back to our pillars really quick, right? It doesn't really have any presence. It doesn't show the value that you bring. It says a little bit about identity, right? And there's no invitation at the end, right? It has none of those. Okay, so here we go. Here's an empowered hello. Hello, I'm Jules. I am a native Floridian. I would never want to be that. I can't even occupy that energy. I am a native Floridian and serial creative crafter. I host adult crafting events for local and let me try it again. I host adult crafting events for local serial creatives at Dream Theaters. Okay, so now we have a part of identity, right? The way that you say hello, right? Which hello are you using? We got presence, we got intention, we've got the identity of Floridian and also a serial creative crafter. We've got what value you bring in terms of the crafting events. And we have a follow-up by saying we're going to Dream Theaters. That thing is happening at Dream Theaters, right? Does that make sense? Is that good? Is that clear? Dr. Flo has some other ones, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I'll jump in. Say that you are an artist named Maya. A disempowered hello sounds like, "Hi, I'm Maya. I kind of paint and do some music sometimes." You know, it's kind of like okay, that's fun, I guess, girl. Or an empowered hello. "Hi, I'm Maya. I'm a multidisciplinary artist who creates paintings and music that help people reconnect with joy and their cultural roots." Oh, wow. That's deep. Or you're a coach named Chris. A disempowered hello from a coach named Chris would sound like, "Hi, I'm Chris. I just do a little bit of coaching here and there." This points to the ways in which people self-minimize themselves. The word just, Tara often quips about the word just, how no one's just a singer, just a student, just a brother, just a sister, just a facilitator. No one's just anything. Most people are a myriad of things containing multitudes with the vastness of a universe inside of a body temple within a larger universe. So when Chris says, hi, I'm Chris, I just do a little bit of coaching here and there, he's minimizing all of who he is with a disempowered hello. Instead, he could say, hi, I'm Chris. I coach leaders who feel stuck so they can unlock clarity, lead with confidence, and achieve lasting transformation in their lives and businesses. All right, last person, say that you are a teacher named Sarah. Disempowered hello sounds like, hi, I'm Sarah. I teach some classes at the school. An empowered hello sounds like, hi, I'm Sarah. I teach high school science, and I'm passionate about sparking curiosity in the young minds, I guess, of students. I'll add that in. That's not what it says on the page, but in the young minds of students, so they can see how science connects to their everyday lives, right?
I want to go
Hi,
to
I'm Sarah. Yeah, she sounds a lot like Miss Frizzle from the cartoon.
She does.
I teach high school science, and I'm passionate about sparking curiosity in the young minds of students so that they can see how science connects to their everyday lives. So these are some examples that we just gave you of what it means to have a disempowered hello, one that sets you at a disadvantage where you need to say more and maybe even have a longer conversation than you really wanted to have, versus just letting people be intrigued by you out the gate. And it's a choice you make to be sparkly in the universe. We talked this morning in Clubhouse about some of the reasons why people would not want to be shining and sparkly and want to blend in society. But for those of us who want to get the most, especially out of capitalism, and the most joy out of life and the most energetic bang for the buck, we're going to have to lead with an empowered hello, because of course these empowered hellos open doors. Here's some reflection prompts for you. Which of the 4 pillars, presence and intention, identity, value, and invitation, of those 4, which of these 4 pillars do you already do well? Which pillar feels weakest for you right now? And the last question to reflect upon is, what impression do you want people to walk away with after you introduce yourself? I can answer that one. I love, and people do reflect this back to me, and they tell me that people walk away from me with an uplifted vibe.
I love that.
You know, you either walk there, it can only go 2 ways with me. You either walk away feeling like, you know, oh, this guy is happy and I can't get on that level with him because my life is fucked up. You know, and people leave the TikToks and Clubhouse spaces and WhatsApp communities every day because they can't match my ultimate joy for life. Of course, I have challenges and hardships, and I'm sick today. You know, I've been feeling under the weather all week. So it's not that I'm removed from the human experience. It's just that I am more tilted towards optimism, hopefulness, and positivity than most people. And people who don't want to be around that, and they want to argue for their limitations, or they want to do the woe is me, or they've got a little tiny violin that they play all day and a sad song about what they're going through, or they want to complain and they want to trauma bond. Those people walk away feeling like, ugh, he's so annoying. He's so happy. How dare he be happy? You know how messed up the world is? The world is, huh?
You sound like Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, the world,
like
the world is messed up, Dr. Flo.
Yeah.
What is there to be happy about? But right. The people who receive my joy in and take my energy in as it honestly is positioned in front of them, they say that I am naturally encouraging and uplifting. And this happens with the people checking me out at the grocery store or the people checking me out in the grocery store.
I would say I can answer the last two questions because I think the second question answers the first question. I think the place that the pillar that feels the weakest to me right now is the value. If I add on my like the second half of my intro, then cool. But otherwise, it doesn't really, I push other people to do the same. I talk about the ish and I push other people to do the same. Doesn't really it's not really, it is valuable, but it doesn't show all of that the things that I do or who I am. What impression do I want people to walk away with after I introduce myself? I want people to feel activated. Like I want people to go out there and like speak their fucking business. Like I want people to stand up for things. I want them to lift their voices. I want them to go live. I want them to sing that solo at school. I want them to audition for the play. I want them to get the callback. Like I want people to be activated and take action after they come into contact with me. Yes. Which feels good. Feels good.
All right. So if you've been tracking, y'all, we started with the welcome and intention for you. And we're now coming to the end of the anatomy of an empowered hello. We're moving forward now into self-awareness and identity work. And just so you know, an empowered hello has nothing to do with what you do for a living. A lot of people in a capitalistic society or in a money-driven society believe that what they do is actually the hill to die on and what makes them worthy of being a human being. Your empowered hello and the ways in which you introduce yourself to people does not come from that at all. It actually comes from a clarity of knowing who you are. You'd be surprised how many people, when you ask them, well, who are you? And they go, oh, I work over at the school, or we just heard from Maya, Chris, and Sarah, right?
Right. And Jules.
And Jules. It's like, oh, okay. You're a teacher at the school. That's cute. But who are you really? And then you ask them again, but who are you really?
Right.
But who are you really? And drilling down with people, you will often find that many people don't have a clue. Or we could go deeper into the teachings of the Japanese. Which face of the three faces are you showing people most of the time? Are you showing them the public face? Are you showing them your friends and family face? Are you showing them the face that only you can see in the mirror when no one's around? I'm telling you, it's just an advice. If you can get the face in the mirror when you're alone, closer to, if not in the same space of your public face, then you're in true freedom. Because you could be sitting on TikTok or in a recorded masterclass and you're not worried about how you look or if you're going to say the right thing or if you're going to mess it up. You're completely in your wholeness.
Right.
I used to work in Soho, New York as a cater waiter during the week and on the weekends. And a beautiful woman came into one of the restaurants And she called me over and she said, I have a friend who's going to be joining me soon. And when they do come, would you just point them over to my table? They're going to be asking for Iman. I've never forgotten that. Now, if you Google her, you'll see she's stunning. She's a Somali American model. I do believe she was married to David Bowie. So she's a big deal in Muggle society. But I'll never forget the energy that she had before she told me who she was. Of course, all of my friends and people who were on the wait staff with me was like, did you know who she was before? Kind of, sort of. I'm not a fashion person. I don't care about material things. So I'm not watching, I've attended New York Fashion Week multiple times, but I'm not really into that. It was her presence that I remember the most. It wasn't her role or what she did in the world. It was her essence. Here are some guiding journaling exercises to help you move forward in your empowered hello. I want you to list 5 words that describe your essence. Are you creative? Are you trustworthy? Are you joyful? List 5 words that describe your essence. Right? Then after that, I want you to list 5 values that drive your work. 5 values that drive your work. Lastly, list 5 strengths or gifts that you naturally bring into the room. This is why so many people don't advance or lift out of the situations they're in. Most people are thinking about what discredits them. The pimple on their forehead, the limp that they walk with, the size of their waist. And they allow these things to preoccupy so much real estate in their mind that by the time they get ready to meet someone that they admire or to reach out for a job opportunity or something that could advance them financially, their knees are knocking because they don't know 5 words that describe their essence, 5 values that drive their work, and 5 strengths or gifts that they naturally bring into the room. In order to integrate this list, circle the top 3 things that you've identified from each list. These are the points that you need to remember when you're bringing your energy to a new opportunity or a new person.
Indeed. Indeed. I would, listen, y'all, those of you, and Dr. Flo has centered this, but those of you that really have lots of self-doubt or feel very poorly about yourself, I would really encourage you to do this list. Even if you don't introduce yourself, even if you don't say hello, even if you don't want to go that far with it, just do this so you can feel a little bit better inside. Okay? Just a little bit better inside. All right. We're going to do some vocal practice. Y'all can do this on mute. Y'all can book a session with Dr. Flo. You could book a session with me to practice how you say hello and the pitch of your voice and the tone of your voice, right? But for right now, you can practice it as we're going to do it together. So basic premise is that how many different ways can we say hello? How many different pitch levels can we say hello? I demonstrated earlier Eeyore versus bubbly, right? We could say hello angrily. We could say hello innocently. We could say hello sexily, right? We could be sexy with it. And then after we do a bunch of those, and we're gonna do it like a literal exercise, but after we do that, how can you feel more grounded in your body? And the real question will be like, which version feels most authentic to you? Which version feels grounded? And then calming your nerves, right? You guys are on mute. I can't hear any of you. So just try it, right? All right. So, first things first, take a deep breath in and just say, like you were responding to someone's story. We're going to stay at that pitch level, whatever your pitch level was. See how I'm staying in that pitch level? That's the pitch level that is most comfortable for my voice. Now, I'm going to take another breath in and I'm going to say hello a bunch of different ways. I might add in hey and hi just to change it up. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to breathe in. Hello. Hi. Hey. Hello. Hi. 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 Hey there. What did you discover? Which one felt good to you? You could do this with flashcards with a friend. That would be very fun, right? Like make a flashcard of a bunch of different emotions and hold it up and then say it. That'd be fun. So which one feels most grounded to you? And try that one out in real life. Okay. You always want to make sure you're grounded in your body and just grounded in your calm as much as you can. Again, we can feel the energy before you even say anything, right? I'm sure Iman was very calm, right? Like you did not get any like, oh my God, I'm Iman and there's none of that chaotic energy. And this is like with famous people, like there are famous people that people don't like to work with. It's because of the energy that they bring, right? It's because of the energy before the hello, before they get into the room and start practicing lines with each other, right? There are singers, certainly, y'all. There are singers that people hate to work with. Hate it because of the energy behind their hellos. And maybe they consider changing that, or maybe they make them enough money and it feels authentic to them and they don't care. Yeah. That's all. Oh, I thought I had put the.
So here are some prompts that will help you anchor this section. What is one quality you want people to remember about you? What is one quality you want people to remember about you? If you couldn't mention your job or title, how would you still express your value? I encourage, equip, and empower people of all walks of the human experience. There isn't a single person on the planet that I can't coach to success. Has nothing to do with the fact that I'm an incredible coach. It's that my goals is to bring the value. My goal is to bring the value of encouraging, equipping, and empowering human beings. And I've done that in multiple roles. I was polishing my LinkedIn today, and I was looking back over the last 2 days. 2 days. I wish it were only 2 days. The last 2 decades. I wish it were 2 days, y'all. I really do. The last 2 decades of being in servitude to people, and that is a through line. The service itself. And lifting up people or supporting people in executive leadership, or telling stories, whether it's through marketing and business development or on stages. There's an encouragement byline that runs through everything that I've done for the last 20 years. Has nothing to do with the title. It's inextricably tied to who I am. Also, journal, if you will, a personal story that illustrates your essence. You'd be surprised how many people I coach who don't think that they need to have job interview answers and their introductions rehearsed. Tara can tell you, most of the stuff that I say to people, I've said it 25,000 times already. It's not because I'm performing anything. It's just because why would you reinvent the wheel every time when people want to work with consistent energies? There's no market for schizophrenic people that have 12 different personalities that they bring to the office every day. Most people want to consistently work with a pretty stable energy of a human. Why not present your best self as often as you can? Anyway, we're going to move forward into section 4, the crafting of an empowered hello. And I'm going to give you a 3-step formula that's going to help you figure out for yourself what your empowered hello looks, feels, and sounds like. Your empowered hello should start with a hook and connection, a positioning of your identity and value, and also an invitation. All right? A hook and connection, a positioning of your identity and value, and also a strong invitation. Now remember, and my partner tells me this all the time, people want to be led somewhere. People want to go on a journey with you. It's kind of scary how many people will get into your life car and just ride down the path with you. Some of them may, like the young lady did today, jump out while the car's still moving, Not recommended, but sure. Choose your own adventure in this life. But people are waiting for you to tell them what to do. Why do you think we have this metric on social media called followers? And why there are more followers than leaders? In every social media platform and in every market and industry, there are more followers than leaders. We need in society more leaders than followers. But why are there more followers than leaders? Because humans, just like cattle, they want to be told what to do. And so these 3 steps are going to help you craft your empowered hello. All right, when I say hook and connection, what am I talking about? I'm talking about coming up with something that's memorable, relatable, and curiosity building. Welcome, Ryan. I see you. You're loved and lovable. So your hook and connection in your empowered hello is going to sound a little bit like this. Hi, I'm Dr. Flo. I believe everyone has a voice worth hearing. Mine is to help you find yours. Okay? And I feel like there's a word missing from that script. I believe everyone has a voice worth hearing. My goal is to help you find yours. All right? That's the hook and connection. Identity and value. This is who you are and what you bring. I'm a Broadway performer and clarity coach who helps people shine on stage and in life. All right. Another word for empowered hello is elevator pitch. Right? You want people to be able to know very quickly who you are, what you're about, how do you help people, and then, of course, we're going to lead into the invitation. If you'd like more confidence in your own voice, let's connect. Hi, I'm Dr. Flo. I believe everyone has a voice worth hearing. My goal is to help you find yours. I'm a Broadway performer and clarity coach who helps people shine on stage and in life. If you'd like more confidence in your own voice, let's connect. Very easy. very easy because it's who I am and I've been this person for 20 years, right? The reason why this is also important is because you don't want people to feel like you're wasting their time. All right. You want them to kind of get a baseline on whether they want to accept you or reject you with quickness. And so that's a 3-step formula to an empowered hello. When you're workshopping later, take the time to write each part, the hook connection, the identity and value, and the invitation separately, and then combine it all into a 2 to 3 sentence empowered hello. And then when you're alone and no one's around, practice saying it aloud to yourself. All right, here's some additional prompts. What's one powerful phrase that you could use as your hook? What's going to grab a person's attention and keep them interested in what you're about? How do you want someone to feel after hearing your hello? We've been joined by Just Ryan, and they have a very bubbly, fun-loving, let's party kind of vibe to them. And I'm sure that's how they want people to feel about them. Like they are a safe place to land as it relates to expression and having a good time. I can't wait for y'all to hear about this one particular project that they're working on that's going to be something else. Last prompt. What's the smallest next step that you'd like this person that's listening to you to take? The smallest next step. Do you want them to connect with you on LinkedIn? Do you want them to follow you on Instagram? Do you want them to schedule a chat with you? You know how I've gotten the followers I've gotten on Instagram and TikTok? I ask people to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. And most people, unless they really don't like the vibe, they say yes. They say yes. Coach people all the time. I've only got 20 followers on my Instagram. Well, when was the last time you asked someone to follow you on Instagram? Oh, I don't do that. That would be weird. Well, we got to start thinking about the smallest next steps that we'd like people to take, and then giving them the opportunity to accept or reject what we want.
So the next part, I feel like Dr. Flo and I have been wrestling with this and teaching our clients collectively and individually, and figuring out how to pitch with soul, not sleaze, and get past the whole idea that it might be salesy. We live in capitalism. It's just what it is, right? So some people out there will say that selling equals serving, right? Selling is service. I think some guru says it might have been, it's one of the Robins. And also, another way to sort of like reframe this sleazy idea is that the pitch is not about you. It's about how you can help them. So for instance, Dr. Flo often tells me, and as we were just going through that, like, what's one powerful phrase I could use as my hook? I release the entanglements that you place upon your voice. I just put it in a caption. Like that's a power phrase. I release the entanglements, right? That is about somebody else. The entanglements that you have put on your voice. It's about you, right? And how I can help you. So that's some of the ways that that can be reframed. I would also just tell you to keep on doing the inner work and keep on having conversations with people, because I think more people than not have these feelings about getting on and introducing themselves, or getting on and selling themselves, or selling their product, and feeling like too much, or feeling like they're sleazy, or feeling like, I just can't do one more invite, Dr. Flo. I just can't do one more invite, Tara. Nobody's showing up. Why should I continue? Right? Um, so some examples of this, that are more, I guess to me, these are more soft pitch than hard pitch. Not like, and Angie actually in her last video kind of did a soft pitch. But at a networking event, someone that's a musician might say, I'm a musician helping people heal through song. Have you ever felt music shift your mood? Okay. A social media intro. So this could be something that you put on your Instagram bio, like the bottom line, right? I'm here to teach artists how to thrive without starving. Lots and lots of artist coaches talk about the starving artist mindset and overcoming it. So it's a great one. Here's a more formal pitch. This would be like a hard pitch to me. Our product reduces stress for teams by 40%, saying companies, what? Saving. It says saving. There's something on my screen. Saving companies thousands in turnover. And in casual conversation, like Dr. Flo and I often have, or we're having in the clubhouse room, I coach people into clarity. It's kind of like personal training, but for your goals. I heard somebody say that analogy today about activism, and like making phone calls and stuff. And that it truly is just training a muscle. It's like setting aside an hour a week to call and just keep on doing that. I will share, I think Dr. Flo is back, but I will share a little moment. This was from way back in the day on Clubhouse, y'all. It was like 2021, maybe early 2022. And I said, you know what? I have a branding program. Like we were sitting in a room of educators, and I was like, I have a branding program. I can get you together for social media. And I pitched it, and I don't even remember what I said, but it worked. And she paid me $2,500 and then went on to make six figures in the next year. And she never used her brand, but she said a lot of the things that we talked about in terms of mindset and the way that she untangled things helped her fill her studio. Dr. Flo, do you have anything to add to that before we move on to the reflection prompts for this section?
No, that was great. So the reflections are, where do you usually feel salesy? And how could you reframe it into service? And every job that we do is in service to something or somebody. So where do you usually feel salesy? And how could you reframe it into service? Second question is, what context will you practice? In what context will you practice your empowered hello this week? And what context will you practice your empowered hello this week? All right, let's move forward into section 6, integration and practice. Here's a visualization exercise. Close your eyes. Imagine walking into a room. You breathe deeply, stand tall, and when you open your mouth, your empowered hello flows out with confidence. See the person smile, nod, and lean in. People with social anxiety don't think that this is possible. But for those of us who introduce ourselves to people all the time, and for those of us who have had success at it, this is how it goes literally every time. And this is part of that visualization. Close your eyes. Imagine walking into a room. You breathe deeply, stand tall, and when you open your mouth, your empowered hello flows out of you with confidence. See the person that you're wanting to give that empowered hello to, See them smile back at you, nod, and lean in. You also want to be encouraged to literally say your empowered hello out loud as you are practicing. Do not be afraid to experiment as we did earlier with what it means to offer an empowered hello. They wanted me in my notes to share my empowered hello again. I'm a hi there and hello kind of person. Whenever I am introducing myself on camera, there's somebody sitting over here on TikTok. Hi there and hello. I'm Dr. Flo, online coach and mentor. Each day I help bold dreamers follow their bliss by being encouraged, equipped, and empowered. It's nice to meet you, Kimbo. It's just that simple. That's a stranger on the internet, you know? Also, let me just say this. You don't need to be afraid of the people that you're going to meet, because in the words of Dolly Parton, what they're going to do? Eat you? She says, if people don't like me and the way I come across in the world, what you going to do? Eat me? And nobody's been eaten alive as a result of introducing themselves to people, especially in modern history. So you can do what you need to do slowly and confidently, and it's going to work out for you. Here are some action prompts that you can take. Write down where you will practice your empowered hello this week. Jot down the spaces and the places where you will practice your empowered hello. Also, jot down a tiny tweak that'll make your body language better when you introduce yourself. What's a tiny tweak that you can do that will make your body language better when you introduce yourself this week? All right, y'all. We made it. I want to reiterate to everyone that your empowered hello is your calling card. It's your first impression, and it's also your invitation to a deeper connection. There's no reason to be afraid of introducing yourself to other people. Remember, we always teach here that you are the only version of you on the entire planet, one of one. So to meet me or to meet Tara or Ryan or Kimbo is a unique gift on the planet, because they're not going to meet anybody else like you. Even when they say to me, as I said earlier, you remind me of someone, or have we met before? My answer is usually no. There's only one flow, baby. Only one flow. Not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. And as Tara always says, and ain't nobody going to change that. Not even me. I want to encourage y'all to practice your empowered hello 3 times this week. You can connect with all of us at lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. You can also visit tarapraolo.com. For those of you listening back later, that's tarapraolo.com, tarapraolo.com. And you can also step in and become a member of Love in Action Network, like our wonderful Jess Ryan on the move. And if you're feeling so inclined, I want to invite all of you either through WhatsApp or email or pigeon to share your empowered hello with us this week. We would love to hear what you come up with. I'm going to give Tara an opportunity to give us her final thoughts, and then she can end the stream so we can connect with our live participants. how'd you feel about today's masterclass and the Empowered Hello, Tara?
Yeah, I think it's a nice reminder and a nice follow-up. And great work to work on the same thing twice in a row. Your hello, your introduction is one of the most important things that you're going to come across, and you're going to have to do it a lot. If you want to be seen, which I think a lot of us want to be seen, you're going to have to figure it out. Okay. You're going to have to figure it out. So anyway, yeah, thank you for being here, and I'll be back again next week. It might change times, y'all. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned. But anyway, joy is our revolution. Step into it, belong to it, walk in it. Join us daily in Love in Action Network, and we'll see you around the block. I am going to find the recording.